think it was Takashi yesterday that once said to me a long time ago. He said it takes about 10 years to find yourself in your work, and I've never. Well, in the very early days I used to stamp, but as soon as I arrived at Farnham, I haven't used to stamp since. I regard it as it's just not important. If I can get to the stage where somebody picks up a pot and say, yeah, I made that, then why should I stamp it? It's not. The reason is it's nothing. It's not a philosophical or anything. It's because I never see anything as a finished statement. It's always part of a lifelong development. It's a lifetime's work, what I'm doing. I have no doubts about it. You know, life's too short. I don't know how long I've got potting there. You know, there aren't any big bangs, maybe 30 or 40 years, which is possibly just about long enough. But I shall never see it finished, really. Maybe I've got one or two pots that I could put a stamp on. Why? It's not necessary.
Therefore, the rewards are related to the process as well as the end product.
Yeah, I think to a certain extent, the process is more important than the end result. You know, talking from an integrity point of view. If I've made it in the right way, with the right love and the right devotion, whether it comes out good or bad from the firing, to a certain extent it doesn't really matter to me. Yeah, okay. At some point I've got to sell pots and make a living somewhere like that. The price of materials, I mean, is so extortionate. Not just the materials, but the transport as well. You can't sort of forever go around being a romantic. I mean, for sure, there's a romantic side to the way I work, and you know, to be out in the field packing the kiln with buzzards circling overhead, and no cars and cows ringing their bells and things. It's fantastic. I love every minute of it. But that's about as far as it goes. You know, from that point onwards, you have to have some sort of realism about it.
So has there been any form of compromise?
This time?
Yeah.
Or before?
Oh.
This time, none at all.
No.
You know, when I said, I've just read an article for Real Pottery, which is like a sequel. I wrote a long one in '82 on wood firing, for what it was called Pottery Quarterly. And I said to Mara, I'll write you another one on what I've been doing since. And I've lost myself now. What did you ask?
Is there any compromise?
Yeah, and in that article I'd written that I laid down my pottery tool for 2.5 years, and I don't think I ever had any intentions of laying them down permanently. But circumstance could have put me in that situation, because since I left Farnham, I've done bits and bobs here and there. I mean, I've never had like a regular job where you can earn enough money to buy your own property. So if you can't buy your own property, you tend to walk a tightrope by relying on the goodwill of somebody else. And when it came, you know, I got to a point where I said, okay, that's enough. I've just got to get back to making pots again. It was a case of saying to myself, well, if I'm going to get back to making pots, I'm either going to do it 100% the right way, like I've wanted to do for the last 10 years, or not at all. And I could have been forced into the situation of not being able to do that purely out of circumstance. So I think I'm lucky. I'm just lucky. Everything fell into place. I'm very fortunate to be able to do what I want to do in the way I want to do it. But I said early on, I said at the beginning of the year, I said to myself, there's no way I'm going to compromise.
So that the pieces that you make are exactly the pieces that you want to make, and you're not paying any lip service to the market.
No. I think, I have to find a market somewhere in order to sell them.
But
I'm in no way going to be manipulated in the. We could talk all day, couldn't we, about the current ceramic scene and what's happening and so on. But I think unless you pay attention to your own integrity and go your own way, then I really don't see any point in doing it. Because to a certain extent, it is self-indulgent. It's pure self-indulgence. It's pure self-indulgence. I want to make pots that way, and I say I don't care. I just want to make pots that way. So it is. It's like getting back to that initial college situation where you have this amazing opportunity to be self-indulgent. You get a grant, and within certain limits, you're allowed to do what you want to do, and you can live because you've got enough money knocking around to do it.
There's a friend of mine who's a potter who does one day, part of the day, Meals on Wheels, because he feels he's so lucky to have found an existence which, provides him with such an amount of self-indulgence that he feels he's got to contribute in some way to the well-being of society, and he does it in doing that.
Yeah, I can't think of a higher utopia than being able to do what you want to do, make people happy, and make a living from it. Yeah, however small. I mean, my aspirations to a standard of living aren't very high. And what is comfortable? What is comfortable? I think I'm quite happy. I mean, I quite happily make the sacrifice of never owning my own house, because I'm always going to want to make pots. Yeah. And I really, how much money do you want these days to buy a house? Certainly with the sort of facilities that you need to do this. So you have a small electric kiln, you put it in the back of a garage somewhere. You put up something like that, you need land, you need planning permission, you need space to put wood. You can't do that in town, so you've got to go out to the country. And finding a place like that, you're talking about £100,000. Well, how much money have you got to earn to be able to pay off a £100,000 mortgage per month, for instance? It's impossible. I don't know what students are going to do now. I have no idea. Unless they, somehow can have that commitment and that urge and say, well, I'm going to do it this way.
Yes, it's